subscribe. Don't forget to comment. I would love to read from you. Thank you. Hello everyone, nice to be here with you again. My name is Abimbola and you're welcome to Abisisu channel, where we teach you to look within to unleash your potentials. Today we're going to be talking about children and resolutions. Children, resolutions, what do they have in common? Quite a lot. I'm going to be unveiling a lot about that in today's episode. Alright, now we have established the fact that resolutions have to do with taking actions, being determined and committed to whatever our goals are. Alright, now children are not left out and should not be left out of goal setting. Now when I say goal setting, I mean of course setting goals and making resolutions. It's something that quite a number of children do, but they don't get to do it the right way. So we're going to be talking about that today. I'm going to give you tips. So as parents and guardians, it is important for us to ensure that we guide our children properly to achieve all the goals that they set out to achieve, you know, at the beginning of the term, at the beginning of the year, whenever. Okay, so how do we go about this? Tip number one: establish a healthy relationship with your child or your children. Now, how do you do this? You can do this by showing them undiluted attention. Pay attention to their emotional needs, their psychological needs, their physical needs, intellectual needs, all their needs. Look them in the eyes, tell them you love them, have conversations with them, discuss with them. These things help to build or foster a healthy relationship between you as a parent and the child, okay? And even if it's a teacher-child relationship, it will also help to foster a very healthy relationship. So take time out as a parent to show deliberate love. I know that it is natural for us to love our children. Yes, we do. But at the same time, we must be very intentional. We must let the children know that indeed we love them. Tip number two: have discussions with your child. Interacting and communicating effectively with your child or children will help in the following ways. It will help the child feel more comfortable and open up to you, even if you're not the parent of that child. Now when I say child here, I'm not just talking about the young ones. I'm talking about the children, the young ones, teenagers, adolescents, and then for the adults, young adults, you can just advise them. But today we're talking to the teenagers and the young adolescents, and of course the young ones. Having discussions with your child will help them to understand their strengths and weaknesses. You know, the fact that you have a conversation helps them to realize certain things that they didn't even know about themselves. Like I said earlier, it helps them to realize that, they have weaknesses in certain areas, which will help them in goal setting, and also realize that they have strengths in certain areas, of course, which will also help them to set proper goals. It helps the child to discover their hidden potentials in academic work and non-academic work. It also helps the child to understand the importance of setting goals and striving to achieve them. So we've talked about having a healthy relationship with your child. We've also talked about having discussions with your child. Now tip number three will be to ensure that you write down all the goals that you intend to achieve. Make sure that those goals are time specific. Pick only a few of the goals that you have listed out already. After writing out all the goals, you will help the child to pick out, or you work with the child. You're not picking it yourself, right? You of course the discussion comes in again. Have a discussion with the child and begin to pick out the most important. That means you prioritize. Okay, prioritize by picking out the most important goals at that time. So after prioritizing, make sure that you link up goals that can go together. If this goes with this one, then put it together. Not too many, remember, but make sure that they are time bound. So this one should come before this one. You're discussing with the child, you're communicating with that student or that learner. So when all this is put in place, it will help. Now remember, in the last video I talked about resolutions and the fact that achieving a resolution takes a process. You must follow a process to get to your goal. Same thing applies for children. They have to go through a process, and you as the guardian, you as the parent, should be by the side of your child to ensure that the steps are broken down into easy bits, so that the children will be able to accomplish as much as they have set out to accomplish. Now let me break this down by giving you an example. For instance, if a child says, part of my goal for next year is to be the best in mathematics, it is your duty as a guardian to break the process down into sizable bits. How? Okay, if you want to be the best in mathematics, you must first start by attending lessons. You must complete your classwork. You must do your homework. You must ask questions in class. You must prepare before every test. You must ensure that you do well in your test. And it just goes on and on and on that way. Finally, offer assistance and monitor closely when necessary. Now, let us take note of the fact that we should not choke the children. What I mean is, allow them to run with their goals. Allow them to make their mistakes. But what we should do as guardians is to be there to lend a helping hand when the need arises. So let's be careful not to run the goals for them, not to try to accomplish these goals for them. Allow them to do these things themselves. You will see that at the end of the day, to build a sense of responsibility. So you see a child taking ownership of his or her goals. You see a child striving to accomplish his or her goals, which is key. So it's also part of what we set out to achieve. When children are setting goals, they're not just setting goals for the sake of setting goals to satisfy everybody around them. They're setting goals to achieve a purpose for themselves. They're setting goals to become more responsible, to become more aware of themselves, of the need to just strive. Thank you for staying with me till this time. But before I let you go, I'm going to give you some examples of some goals that children can set for themselves. I will complete my classwork before the end of every lesson. I will draw up a timetable for myself so that I can plan my time appropriately. I like to sing, so I will join the school choir. I will ask questions when I need clarification. I will stop cracking jokes and throwing tantrums during lessons. I will improve on my behavior by ensuring that I learn to greet everyone around me. I will make the world a better place by touching lives and giving to the less privileged. And then I will ensure that I become the best mathematician ever by applying all the tips that I have learned from Abisisu channel. Thank you so much, guys, for sticking with me all the way to the end. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Bye-bye.